it's not just that. Covenantal love also actually gives us a richer understanding of what love really is. When Kathy and I first kissed and hugged and held hands years ago, there was this electrical thrill. And somebody says, well, when you hold her hand now, do you get the same electrical thrill you had when you first touched her? And the answer is, heck no, thank goodness. And here's the reason why. In fact, I wrote this down, and I'm reading this because it's very important to say it just the way I think. I think this captures it. Yeah. As I look back on it, when we first held hands before we were married, the initial thrill was not so much from the magnitude of my love for her, but from the flattery of her choice of me. The reason you get that thrill is not so much, oh, I'm really loving this person. No, it's your ego. Somebody I like, somebody I think is pretty cool or hot or whatever your terminology is responding to me. That's not love, that's ego. Or what Screwtape tells you, if you read the Screwtape letters, he says an awful lot of what human beings call love is really hunger. It's an ego emptiness. And when you feel like this person is affirming me, this person is actually making me feel better about myself, oh my goodness, you call that love? That's not love. Love's in there, but it's largely ego. No, love is sacrificial service and the delight you increasingly find in someone that you've invested your life in. By the way, you notice it happens with children. You know, a little child, you have a child, infant. How much does that infant give to you? Nothing. How beautiful is the infant? Well, you know, if you're a woman, you've got hormonal reasons why you think it's beautiful, but for the rest of us, you say, it's just sort of a little, you know, the Pillsbury Doughboy, you know. And yet, what do? You have to sacrifice for that child right away. You sacrifice everything. Your whole life kind of goes away. The child doesn't give you much. You give and you give and you give and you give. And after a while, you love that child in a way. You love that child, industrial strength love, unconditional love. It's astounding. Why? Because that's what real love is. Real love is sacrificial service, and then the increasing delight that comes from someone that you've invested your life in. And that's the reason why over the years what happens is the love we feel now, considering that we know who we are, at first you feel like I'm falling in love with this person, you're falling in love with your idea of who that person is, not the real person. As years go by, you find out who you are. As years go by, you both find each other's flaws, you get totally disillusioned with each other. Then what happens is you kind of rebuild your respect for each other because you see each person holding on, taking hold, giving up, trying harder, moving on through, embracing, repenting, forgiving, showing grace to each other, and slowly real love grows. And slowly you begin to admire that other person for what she's been through for you, and vice versa. And you know, in the end, that's the most sexy thing of all. You know what is really sexually intense? Is when someone you admire admires you. The praise of the praiseworthy is above all rewards. And when that person you admire, regardless of what they look like, if you just admire that person because of what you've been through and what she's done for you, what you've done for her, it's sexy. It's sexy.